So without further ado, what we do right before we do the show is we do a clink. So without further ado, we clink. Ready for some tea? Okay, here we go. This story is brought to you by Christian Post. I posted about this on the Those Are the Girls Instagram. You should, if you're not already, follow Those Are the Girls podcast on Instagram. Because we talked about it, and there's a really good, in my opinion, there is a really good discussion happening in the comments about this. And to be honest, we all kind of agree. But I want to expand on my thoughts on this. Okay. Bishop performs mass of reparation on church following lewd Sabrina Carpenter video and demotes the priest. The Roman Catholic bishop of the Diocese of Brooklyn performed a mass of reparation on Saturday to cleanse a historic church in Williamsburg. That the setting was of a lewd, violent music video of pop star Sabrina Carpenter. Okay, for context, Sabrina Carpenter is the girl much beautifuler than me, blonde hair girl that Olivia Rodrigo talks about in the Sour album. Like, that's Sabrina Carpenter. She also is the girl that does a song that's like hopefully you know what I'm talking about, and she'll like interchange it with a new city, like I'm happy to be here and blah 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 blah. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, she also played on Girl Meets World, one of Disney Channel's worst shows. That's her. Cutie patootie. Long blonde hair, cute little body. Love her voice, love her music. You know what? I put her up there. So obviously, sorry, going on a quick tangent. So obviously, Demi, Selena, and Miley are the queens of Disney Channel. Like, they hold the title. Amazing singers, great actresses, some more than others. They're mother, as the Gen Z say. Those are mother. I would say there's two who are in the I guess three who are kind of like that for Gen Z, because I think Demi, Selena, and Miley were kind of for millennial, and that's what I am, in case you couldn't tell. It might be hard to tell because like I'm so hip. But and those three would be, I'll say in order of popularity, Olivia Rodrigo for sure, Sabrina Carpenter, the girl we're talking about, and Dove Cameron. I don't know if many of you know Dove Cameron, and I didn't know about her till earlier this year. Obsessed. Love her, 10 out of 10. She can sing. She doesn't just sing, she sings. Love her. Boyfriend and Breakfast, two of my favorite songs. Definitely going to be in my top 5 on Spotify. Dove Cameron can sing. Olivia Rodrigo, we already know. Amazing singer. Trying to get tickets to her show. It's actually my brother's birthday. And I teased him. I was like, how would you feel if we got Olivia Rodrigo tickets for your birthday? And he said that he wouldn't go. So that's lame. And then Sabrina Carpenter, I like her. I just know the Nonsense song. And then this song, Feathers, which was filmed in the church, which is what we're talking about. Now back to this. Bishop Robert Brennan also removed Monsignor Jamie Ginatello from his position of administrator oversight over Our Lady of Mount Carmel Annunciation Parish, the diocese said in a statement obtained by the Christian Post. Through the offering of this mass, Bishop Brennan has restored the sanctity of this church and repaired the harm. The diocese said the video Feather, which as of Monday has amassed more than 4.5 million views since being uploaded on Halloween, depicts a scantily clad carpenter surrounded by coffins and dancing in the front of the altar, which was adorned by a bottle of liquid marked RIP, a doll that says "Good girls go to heaven," and a book titled "Tampons Should Be Free." One of the coffins is emblazoned with RIPB beneath the cross. Carpenter also prances provocatively through the nave in between the pews during the video, which features several men dying gory deaths in a manner reminiscent of a slasher horror films. Carpenter video stoked outrage on social media, with some taking her tax to a video they deemed disrespectful and offensive. And Brennan said last week he was appalled that such content was permitted to be filmed in the sanctuary of the 19th century church. So this church has been around since the 19th century. I think that's just something to think about. So a couple things. He said, outrage. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of only been religious people who are outraged. And that's fine. It's something that religious people, if you are religious, no matter your religion, typically you do understand and respect other people's religions, religious buildings, their things like that. I'll just say that. You typically respect that if you're religious. So that's one thing. There wasn't as much outrage, in my opinion, as there would have been if it was a mosque or a temple. I do think people would care more about that, which kind of reminds me of, and I hate to keep bringing this up. I'm going to start bringing it up, but I was slaughtered for saying that when I see people wearing crosses, I don't automatically think Christian. People are like, no, wearing a cross means that you're a Christian. People wear crosses because they're a Christian. So, let me tell you guys about something. The Whatever podcast, which we've talked about, I did an episode with Savannah where we kind of discussed the pros and the cons of the show. There was an episode, and a girl was wearing a cross necklace, and she was saying how she wasn't a Christian. So, like, why are you wearing a cross necklace if you're not a Christian? And she said, oh, because it's cute. And then someone was like, well, would you wear a Jewish star? She said, no. Okay, I think that is the sentiment of people who do not take Christianity seriously. So, should we be completely surprised that she wanted to use Catholic imagery, crosses, and the actual Catholic Church? No, I don't think we should be. I would not be surprised if she considers herself Catholic. It wouldn't, if, later we find out she was even baptized. It would not surprise me 1 second. I think it shouldn't be surprising. I think it's distasteful and disrespectful, though. I think that because we become so, as a society, culture has become so lackadaisical about things like this that are a big deal, like respecting the church. And, I'm going to say something a little crazy, and I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me. I do think there is something to say about dressing up to church. You don't have to, wear long ball gowns and veil. I know a lot of people are really into veiling right now. You don't have to do all that stuff. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is I do think that you should try to present your best foot forward. Now, are there going to be times where you're in a hurry, but you really need to get to church? So you might slide on some pants. Well, see, to me, like, if I'm going to slide on something, it's going to be a dress. But I recognize that's not everybody. My point is, though, like, obviously I think there's room. Not everybody's going to dress to the nines to go to church. But I do think that dressing up to go to church does kind of show us type of reverence. Personally, I always wear dresses to church. I think I've worn the only time I've ever worn non-dresses to church is when, like, if it's like a Sunday night service or a Wednesday night service. And I will say, though, like, churches I've gone to, there's people wearing leggings, like, people don't care. I mean, there's people who come in, like, really short skirts, and I don't necessarily think you should, obviously, we're not going to, like, turn them away or anything like that, but I do think that if we so that could be, like, a new person who's never been to the church before. If we as a body, those of us who are members of that church, set the tone of, hey, we're going to church, we want to be reverent, we want to bring our best, present our best as we go about this. If we have that type of attitude, someone that goes into the church, and they will see, like, hey, you know what, maybe I should dress a little bit more appropriately, because they're going to see, like, that's how everyone else, this is the standard we have for our church. I'm very much pro that. I know, I'm sure people are going to, like, say, no, I don't think you should, but I do. If you disagree, if you think you should be able to wear whatever, however, whenever you want to the church, let me know. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. But I do think you should try your best, because I do think when you don't, this is kind of what you breed. I'm not saying that this is the church's fault. I'm not saying that this is any particular church's fault. I'm just saying that, like, I think when you don't show reverence to the church, when you stop kind of I guess reverence is the right word, when you stop trying to put your best foot forward and just respect the time of fellowship with your fellow Christians, I think this is kind of what it breeds. So that's one thing. Like I said, people would be outraged if it was a mosque or Jewish star. My next question is, part of it is Christianity is not the we don't have like a recognized religion as a country, but it is essentially what we were founded on. It is the majority of the people in our country. When people are thinking of America, they do think of Christians. I wonder, let me know if you live in another country and you can tell me this. I wonder, because, I mean, people, Christianity, I don't want to be one of those people. Christianity's under attack. Because, like, it is, but we also aren't, I mean, we're not being slaughtered. There's people in other countries that are being, right now, that are being murdered because they believe that Jesus is the Son of God. So, you know, we're not that type of under attack. But I wonder if in countries where another religion is the majority, if there are people who are doing these type of things, culturally attacking, I'll say that are culturally attacking the religion. I wonder if some of it has to do, I do think it's, obviously I'm a Christian, so I do think this is the correct belief. I do think that has a little bit to do with it, but I wonder if it also has something to do with the fact that it is the main religion. So everybody pretty much growing up was Christian. Obviously there's other religions in the country, but you guys know what I mean. Like, a lot of the country is Christian. So statistically, people in Hollywood grew up Christian. So maybe they're rebelling against their religion. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking it could be, have something to do with it. I think that, like, just openly rejecting Christ is kind of like a new thing. And let's be honest, you guys, part of it is because she wanted me to do this. And you know what? You got it. You won in that regard. I am talking about it. You're talking about it. It's been talked about all week on Twitter. I mean, the diocese had to do the, like, put the things in their in the, I want to say temple, in the, oh my goodness, what is it called? Had to bless the church and everything. Like, so this is partially what she wanted. And to be, well, no, I was going to watch the video anyway, because I love her voice, and I want to be more into, well, the time I wanted to be really more into her. And the concept that was first shown was just like her, you know, getting back at the men who were, like, inappropriate with her, which I'm like, ooh, I love a story like that. Get them. So I was gonna watch it anyway, but, like, the majority of people, I think, watch it just to see. I know someone on Twitter that I follow said that she watched it numerous times to see if like, all of the Christian imagery in there, which gives it the views, which is what she wanted, which, you know, so it is what it is on that. So yeah, you guys just let me know. Those are my thoughts on it. This was definitely an episode. This was definitely a story for the pop culture girlies. Do you guys remember her from Girl Meets World? That show was awful. Like, which is crazy because Boy Meets World is iconic. It was so good. A lot of good life lessons. It was actually revolutionary too. Like, Angela and Sean were one of the first interracial couples on television. Like, it was a big deal. Great show. And Girl Meets World, they fumbled that back. Every time I see clips of it, it's like, woof.